Well, to our West Coast fans out there, good morning, everybody. We are here. It's the day that so many people have been waiting for. We've made it to the beginning of the World Series of Free Enterprise, the Free Enterprise community's second major community event. I am Demarin2, and I am joined today by the number 6 finisher in that first event, the Highway to the Zima Zone, noted commentator, great runner, and good friend Invenerable. How are you doing this morning, Invenerable?
Oh, I'm doing great this morning. It's good to be here. Good to have our big event starting, and looking forward to seeing how this Appleseed treats our racers right off the bat.
Yeah, we are. This is Appleseeds are going to be the first of 7 weekly events that we have running, 4 races per week, including then feeding into a top 12 final table. Of course, Appleseeds are really, really interesting. If you could just bang out why these are going to be sort of different from what we're used to seeing in our weekly races and the like.
Oh yeah, so a lot of the gameplay of Free Enterprise revolves around managing your resources. In Appleseeds, we kind of throw that out the window. We give you shops with the top end items and gear. You can get as many as you want. They're all free. You start with a full powered Fusoya. Pretty much nothing is going to stand in your way except your own routing decisions under this flag set. And we have, I believe, 45 people in this race. Top 2 will get a spot at the final table. Same with the remaining 3 qualifiers this weekend, and then the final 4 spots will be filled by relative performance against the field, Z-score, as we like to call it in the statistical realm.
Yeah, so you don't get a ton of chances. You don't get a ton of chances to make any mistakes here. And people have been optimizing a lot of these flag sets down to the bone pretty heavily. I know if you looked at last night's race, we actually ran this last night, and Poydrak and Dr. Spin finished 1-2. And a lot of the favorites finished in the bottom half. So, if there's any flag set where literally anything could potentially happen, this is going to be one of them for sure.
Oh yeah, when we get down into some of the more onerous flag sets, you'll see where some of those, distinguishers start to take place. How can you eke through a fight with just the bare minimum? This one, everything's at your disposal. Kick that Zeroma's butt, destroy everything in your path, and good luck to all the racers.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, as we feed out these final tables, we are keeping track of how people perform in the final tables, because there is going to be a World Series of Free Enterprise overall champion based upon performances on final tables. So there will be a score system. A lot of that is outlined on the Discord and the flag sets are all outlined on ff4fe.com. So, definitely go check that out for a lot more information. But we are about to get this run started here.
Excellent, excellent. And so we have 4 great racers up here today. We have OPT Lawyer, JDP, Smapedy, and Nightdew. Nightdew, of course, second place finisher in the Highway to the Zima Zone tournament we had this past summer and fall. Gonna be excited to see how he handles these Appleseeds. I don't think I've seen him do a lot of these lately. So we'll see if he's been honing that fine edge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are getting kicked off right now. Our runners are free. We're off the start screen. We've got Mage and Older Mage. Not sure which one is actually older. Volvalis is of course waiting for us here with the Crystal. Well,
why am I commentating this one instead of racing it? This is what I've been waiting for.
Well, all right, everybody. So nobody needs to do anything. With characters free and with items free, we're not going to see any bosses. We're not going to fight anything. We're not going to play this game. We're going to go really fast.
Don't get quite ahead of yourself too far. Although the pass is in a shop, we don't know which shop. It could be one of the ones that are gated by either the Magma Key, the Darkness Crystal, or the Hook. Those are, of course, Dwarf Castle, Tomra, Feymarch, Evelyn Cave, and the Hummingway shop on the moon. Any of those could have our pass. And also, in spite of our phenomenal cosmic power, our racers still going to want to find those gold or silver apples and some HP-based J items to really, pump out the damage against Zeromas. So we don't have to hunt the crystal, but we're not there yet. So let's see who manages to find it first.
That's fair. Cabins to start, Cure 2s and Baron. Got Nightdew in Toraya. We've got Smapedy over here in Kaipo. OPT Lawyer has found Starvales here in he went to, it looks like, Agart.
Making the low percentage plays just because where do you hate to shop? Everyone hates going to the desert to shop.
Yep.
JDP actually choosing to go ahead and fight some bosses here. Uh, Possibly assuming or hoping that it is indeed gated. We have none of the no free lunch flags on, so you aren't just doing this for the character. You can get free characters all over the overworld.
Yep.
So clearly hoping that something is gated here.
Maybe hoping the magma key will fall into his lap, but Night Dew found elixirs and life potions, and so did Smapey over here in Toraya, so they're going to stock up.
Found the silver apples. Only 50 HP a pop on those. Takes a lot longer to churn through them to max out your HP. Of course, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with some of these J items that have been added back into the rando, AG apples, silver apples give 50 max HP per use. Gold apples, AU apples, 100. We're going to want to see plenty of our teammates propped up to 9999 HP. And, you know, it's going to be interesting. If the gold apples are gated, but the pass isn't, it could just be churn through the silvers in spite of the extra time.
Yep. Dream is partially dead. Fabul has the pass in shop along with Sirens in case of there being no apples, but we have apples. So, yeah, this is likely to be... You're going to see some of the top runners post some absurd times very soon.
Yeah, we may be seeing a sub 20-minute seed here, which that's the goal of Appleseed. We like to have flag sets which showcase both how you can customize free enterprise to destroy Zeromus as quickly as possible. We like to have more onerous ones just to see how much can you do with how little. This is definitely the former.
Yeah, we'll be getting to the latter later as the weeks edge on here, but right now, well, we are definitely in the middle of trying to see if these runners can... How much have these runners really optimized these flags? Do they really know the fastest possible routes between locations? Are they making the right decisions to get characters? Are they still going to go underground to check shops down there? Because JDP's got the magma key from Barren Town. So options abound, certainly.
I mean, honestly, at this point, you could just say, you know what? I have elixirs, I have silver apples, I have a foo, I don't need anybody else. You could go to that Z fight with a solo foo, pump him up to about 5,000 HP, and just alternate reflect a nuke, eat an elixir, reflect a nuke, eat an elixir. It won't be the speedy, you know, like sub 2.5 minute Z fights that some of our racers have come to expect on this seed, but I think we could still see a sub 12-minute finish if someone were to just bite that bullet.
Yeah, I mean, you've got lit bolts there with the silver apple, so you know they will do hit point based damage. And in this instance, it'll do roughly, when you're at full health, roughly 5,000 health per hit. So, you know, that's a decent chunk of damage, but you're sitting there taking reflect nukes, so you need to have a plan for that. And so there's a lot going on, certainly.
But this could be one situation where you don't bother pumping up a full team. If your foo is the only one standing and has a Moonveil or Starveil up, throw all the nukes you want at me, Zeromus. I'll throw them right back at you.
Yeah, lots of different strategies that could come into play here on Zeromus, especially because Kamikazes haven't popped out on the overworld. We've seen Silk Webs, we've seen Starveils, we've seen Elixirs, Life Potions, Apples, but the linchpin item for a lot of these runners is not out there right now.
Exactly. The Kamikaze, unlike the 3 other HP-based items, does your full current HP and damage at the cost of the user's life. But if you have Life Potions and Elixirs, that's not exactly that big of a complication. And it looks like OPT Lawyer has decided, I'm not going to hunt for those. Let's apple up and let's go for it. Not even going for a full team, just saying, you know what? We can do this with the team we're given. Other people are going to be making the run to Zeromus. I've got to get these apples eaten stat.
Yep, Smapey is on the same game plan right now, looking at his team just cramming apples as fast as is possible here. You're just watching them rack them up right now. Night Dew has joined the Apple crew here, and JDP has grabbed the 2 characters in Mysidia. This is gonna be a wild sprint finish, and we're gonna see a lot of runners coming in real close to each other. It could come down to a matter of moments.
And since we do have a little bit of time while everyone's eating all these apples, of course, you don't have to hammer the A button nonstop. You can hold it down, and you'll consume the apples at a pretty decent clip. Some of our racers, knowing a few vanilla tricks, such as R plinking, where if you hit the R button a moment after hitting your A button, you'll get a double input, have been practicing getting a rhythm down, where you hold A with one hand and then tap your R button at the right frequency, and instead of taking about 45 seconds to eat a full stack of 99 apples, it takes around 35 seconds. So with how quick and how speedy this seed is, wouldn't surprise me to see some of those racers getting those 10 seconds per stack. Adds up, it adds up, and it could determine the winner of this race.
Yep, I know. I actually had a recording on my Twitch channel of myself doing the frequency ARP linking and getting a little bit extra efficiency out. So there is no tech that is unknown. It's all out there. And it looks like, yes, Happy the Bunny, JDP has popped the underground.
That's actually kind of fascinating, because one thing that I was mentioning before the race started is that there's a lot of optimization that people have been working on, how to make this Z fight as quick as possible, how to eat your apples as quickly as possible. But, you know, routing can still make a difference. If your crystal's hidden behind a chain, if your pass is on the moon, and you still have to clear all these item spots, well, all of a sudden your optimization matters less. This is the seed that is going to pay dividends for two fortunate racers who have worked really hard on that.
Yep, Smitey already there. He's just popped the pass now at just shy of 8 minutes. The dream is real. I cannot believe we're saying this at 8 minutes.
I love this too, because like I know I mentioned this already, but if it's going to take you that long to eat that many silver apples, and you don't have kamikazes, do you really need to fully max out your team? If you have elixirs, Fu can do so much of the work here. Reflect, nuke, 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 elixir. Reflect, nuke, 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 elixir. Just get in the fight, get it done. I'm excited to see finishes coming across probably around the 12-minute mark at worst here. Keeping our eyes very close on IRC for those top two finishers.
Yep, JDP, by the way, has found Soma drops, but not much else so far in the first two shops in the underground, so he is not getting rewarded for this play. Yeah, then everybody else looks like they're going for the fullest of health on their characters. JDP went for about, or Smitey went for about 4,000 health.
Just wants to be... Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry.
I
was going to say, just wants to be sure to survive. Oh, resetting.
Huh.
What?
Did something go wrong?
Oh, wanting to agility anchor better. Had Fu in the middle slot, which of course means that his 20 agility was being used to calculate Zeromus' speed, swapping him with Tella now, which will allow his Fu to be roughly the same speed as Zeromus, maybe just a hair slower in terms of relative agility. You hate to see that time loss, but at the same time, if he'd gone in that way, pretty much only his Fu would be getting turns ever, and even then, only a couple for every 5 or so of Zeromus's.
Of note, JDP did find gold apples, but there are no kamikazes out there anyways, so our runners who are used to kamikaze strats, sorry to say, that's off the table today.
Yeah, Chameleon Nice in chat saying, goodness, this is all about min-maxing, isn't it? Exactly. The Appleseed is all about how much can you optimize your inputs, how can you optimize your Zeromus fight, because the normal bosses are not going to stand in your way, and if you get fortunate enough to have a crystal start and a pass in an overworld shop, you're good to go.
Great Hooded Ornament asking, is duplicating allowed? It sure is, but since everything in shops are free, we didn't need to duplicate anything. We just went into the shop, said, you know, I need your finest items, and, well, we got pretty much anything you could ever want.
And just so you all know, looking at the flag set, if you see the capital G, that indicates which vanilla glitches are actually enabled in this flag set. M means MP underflow, which doesn't do you good at the Z fight, because everyone gets healed to their standard maxes anyway. W is the warp glitch. You can use warp in Dwarf Castle to go get a second key item, and L the life glitch, which, if you're grinding, you can get double XP on some monsters by lifing them up after they're dead.
Yep. And at 10.5 minutes in, we find out that we are going to be playing a little bit of a rhythm game. We're going to be playing the At-Rhythm Final Fantasy IV here, and we're about to have at it.
And this may be going for pure reflected nuke strats. Did not pump his HP up enough to really get much mileage out of the J items. Just wants to make sure that his characters can survive full unnerfed big bangs. They can come out at worst 2,700 damage later parts of the fight. And we may actually reach those, because with only Fu on DPS, it's going to take a little bit of time to get to that 61,000 HP mark. Do you want to talk a little bit about why it's only 61,000 instead of 120 something?
Sure. So in Final Fantasy, for the maximum hit points of any target is 65,536. In this case, Zeromus has 61,000 hit points, but there's a script that if you do direct damage when Zeromus has 16,000 or less health, Zeromus' health will refill once during the fight. So normally what happens is that, you whittle him down, you get that long pause in the middle of the fight, and all of a sudden you realize, I got to do more damage because, there's more health there than 61,000. But when you do reflected spells, it doesn't trigger counter scripts, and the health refill is a counter script. So since you don't get that script, what ends up happening is that without a counter script, you are just going to kill Zeromus because the health goes below 0, and when your health is below 0, well, the game tells you that you die.
Yeah, excellent technique that a lot of our racers will be taking advantage of here. With some seed sets, some flag sets, you're going to not worry about that. You're going to do the full damage because you have extra strong high-leveled Zerkers with powerful swords just doing tons of damage. On this flag set, I think most of our characters are their base starting levels. We're not doing physical damage here. We're abusing those items. We're using our foo spells. We are going to do this a little more delicately, unlike the rest of the seed.
Yep, Nightdew is weaving in some fire bombs. Already came killed. Looks like he's going to go for 2 character strats. It's just going to be Foo and Tella here. Going to use the fire bombs probably to get Zeromus down into that range under 16,000 health, or just above 16,000 health, and then finish with reflected nukes. So taking advantage of the 9,999 hit point Tella here to do more damage.
Chameleon Nice putting out in chat was expecting it to be a long qualifier with it being an RPG. Appleseeds, like we said, these are designed to get you through as fast as possible, show how much the game can be utterly dunked on if you're given phenomenal powers at your disposal. But stick around. In the weeks to come, we have far more onerous flag sets. Next weekend will, of course, be Giant Percent, which is a little slower, a little trickier. And then we start getting into the 1-hour ones, and then some that'll be possibly 2 hours. And then, of course, there's Catalite, which may not even be beatable on a given seed. So you're in for treats, but you'll see a good variety of what Free Enterprise has to offer at the same time.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep up with what everybody is doing here. You got OPT Lawyer nuking Zeromus, you've got Snape D continuing to throw elixirs and reflect nukes. Nightdew is trying to make this work with direct firebombing strats and elixirs. So we've got 3 different strats on display. Snape D had a small lead going in, but we'll see how this ends up really kind of panning out for everybody. Yeah, Crystal start, Pass and Fabul, elixirs and life potions in Toraya. Veils were out there, silk webs were out there, lit bolts were out there, so...
And in the meantime, we have our first qualifier going on to the final table Friday night. Scratch Dragon, excellent racer, going to be playing this game at RPG Limit Break this coming May, has finished in first place with a 14-minute, 32-second time, sub 15 minutes. Very well done, Scratch. I expect to see a second place very soon, very soon.
Yep, Scratch Dragon was one of the top 8 runners in the Highway to the Zenith Zone as well, so it looks like a favorite has pushed through, so... so we do have some chalk happening this morning, at least here. And speaking of unbelievably, and I'm going to eat my words saying this, Simbu has finished in second place, 15 minutes, 12 seconds. Well, he's 1/6 the way to fulfilling his promise of making all 6 final tables.
7. He wants to make all 7, I believe.
I mean, he's not getting through me in 2v2. That's not about to happen again.
Right. Coming in fast and furious, Couch, 3rd place, 15:27. Rivers McCown, 2 seconds behind, 4th, 15:29. Moonblazewolf, 15:37. Yimmo, 15:39. Dark Hubble, 15:40. We're not going to read off all of these. We have 45 people in the race, and nearly all of them will be done within the next 5 minutes.
OPT Lawyer has Fusoya dead at the moment, did not level Fusoya up all the way, and is just taking big bangs on the other 3 characters, and looks like he's going for full HP item stats here. Snape D continues to reflect out these nukes right now, trying to keep things going. Nightdew is currently refreshing Veils on party members. Again, going with those duo strats here. Just has Fu and Tella alive, which does not seem quite fast enough here, of course, because we see we also had an 8th place finisher hit the line, BG Rich at 16:08. So we're just flying right now.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a little tricky. It's actually a little annoying for these racers who did come in 3rd, 4th, 5th. We did mention that the 9th through 12th slots at each final table would be filled by statistical Z-score, how you finish against the field. And with a seed like this, where everyone is finishing so quickly and in large clumps right together, you're probably not going to be that many standard deviations ahead of your opponents. So in some situations, it's a blessing that it's, kind of a jet seed. In other ways, it can be a little bit of a curse if you don't get one of those two coveted first and second place spots.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's real tough. And I know that, in Highway to the Zenith Zone, we also use Z-Score, but, you finished like top 4, top 5, and you felt real good because, the time spaced out a lot. And here, we've had finishers coming in for 2 minutes now. There's been a pause right now. Kabai just hit the line in 9th, so we're just, it's 17:24, so we're starting to hit that second group of runners here as we see more big bangs coming out. For Smape D, we see it for OPT Lawyer. We're just seeing big bangs left and right on our screen right now. My frame rate is destroyed.
By the way, huge thanks to our restreamer today, Niram, another entrant in the World Series who's, taking part instead of in this qualifier, doing his best to help the community out. And of course, thank you to these 4 racers for volunteering to be restreamed. Very Jet Seed, we're seeing, how they handle, just the bare bones of what you can do when you strip away all the excess and just rush straight to a Zeromus fight. So huge credits to everyone helping out today.
Yep, on the stream, Night Dew with one more reflected nuke after a big bang has our first streamed runner to see the crack and the boom at 17:56, just behind Chokosura at 17:53, Kumi Leon at 17:40. I can't keep up anymore. We've got 14 finishers already under 20 minutes at this point.
Yeah, DJ in the chat. Everyone on Zeromus, we did have a crystal start, pass Infabull, silver apples, and elixirs for sale in the overworld. So, not much more you can ask for there. I mean, theoretically, you could shave off a little bit of time if you had gold apples available and maybe kamikazes, but did not slow down our top 2 finishers, not one bit.
Yep, Smapey is just taking down Zeromus as well. 15th place, 18:38. An excellent time, but it's not going to be enough. Well, I came to commentate today. This has been an unbelievable experience, though.
Yeah, it's like, I got about 20 minutes to spare this morning. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, just a moment and a breath, and yeah, happy the bunny's got it right. That face when your sub 20-minute time is not even top 10. 20 minutes might barely crack top 20. The first place time was 12 minutes ish. Oh, sorry, that's just ridiculous. 14:32.
We can't all have them where, it is fun to see a trolley Appleseed where you get the crystal off the bat, but then, like, the pass and both apples are for sale on the moon, so you still have to go find a darkness crystal. This seed wasn't it. We'll see if we can't get Night Dew and or Smapey in here for an interview shortly. I don't know exactly how much to talk about beyond how they had to adjust their... Actually, yeah. Because everyone who's been practicing these, when you have the time to get your full team, your gold apples, your kamikazes, I'm excited to see how these racers had to adjust on the fly when you actually don't get every tool you're used to on one of these.
Yeah, that'd be a really good question to ask here. Is OPT Lawyer and JDP are, firebombing and nuking their way through as we go along. The cut for 20th place. 20th place was 20 minutes and 17 seconds, which is just unbelievable.
We are joined by one of our restream racers, Smapey. GG. The big thing I'm wondering for you about that seed is, with Appleseeds, we're all kind of used to having, our gold apples, our kamikazes, our full team, going into the Z fight fully prepared. This seed didn't really let you do that. How did you adjust on the fly to make up for that?
It was kind of a simple adjustment. Thankfully, with the Appleseeds, you always get foo. So, even if that strategy doesn't play out that we want, where you get those kamikazes and those big damage items like that, you still got nuke to fall back on. So, I was fingers crossed every shop I went into that there was going to be a kamikaze in there, but none of them turned up. So I was like, well, I guess we're doing this the hard way.
And rocks are falling on OPT Lawyer's screen. Missed the refill, but still at this last 12,000 or so HP of Zeromus. Should be wrapping up very soon. JDP also still cleaning up his fight as well.
Yeah, it's likely that we'll have all 4 runners in here for some chat time, as it sounds like Night Dew has just popped in as well. Our last 2 runners are really kind of pushing forward here with those Reflect nukes. As you can see now, it looks like OPT Lawyer has finished the deed with a Reflect nuke, and JDP has firebombed Zeromus to death here.
Oh,
22nd
6
and
seconds
23rd.
apart. 6 seconds apart, too. Neck and neck here on the restream.
Yeah, 22:05 and 22:11. JDP is going to decline the interview because I believe he needs to go to sleep. He's from Australia. He's from the other end of the world, so it's 3 in the morning. But yeah, that's a rapid 22 minutes for the stream. Let's see if we can at least get OPT Lawyer in here as well.
Yeah, and Night Dew has joined us, but your mic appears to be muted. Night Dew, are you able to communicate at this time?
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for all that to clean up there.
Gotcha. And I have the exact same question for you, OPT Lawyer. We already ran it by Smapedy, but usually on these Appleseeds, you're used to having a full suite of your goodies when you go into the Zeromus fight. This one was so fast, you didn't necessarily have that option. How did each of you adjust for that, actually not having everything you wanted on an Appleseed?
Honestly, I've done this without kamikazes before. The big thing I forgot to do was move Fu out of the center of my.
And Night Dew, how about you? How did you have to adjust on the fly?
I did a few off practice seeds where that did tend to be the case. Now, mind you, we did have kind of the gold apples and everything. So it's silver apples. I'm like, oh, there's no way I can take more than 2 people in here, especially at that, and even finishing, as 12th in 17 minutes. Who would ever say that happened? But yeah, it's just one of those things where with the crystal popping immediately out, the pass immediately, you knew everybody was just going to converge on Zeromus immediately. So I mean, there was you just kind of had to go and hope you had it.
Yeah. OPT, if there was one thing you could have done differently on this seed, now that you've kind of seen how things panned out, what would you have changed?
Well, other than not having Fu in the center of my party and Zerum as fast as all heck. Honestly, I don't know if I needed to go pick up those other 2 people.
Interesting, yeah, tactical wrinkles there. I'm sure everyone between now and tonight's qualifier, the next qualifier, by the way, 8 p.m. Eastern, same place here on this channel, we'll be reviewing a little more of these niche situations. I think everyone's been rolling, 16 of 17 and 17 of 17 seeds, and now you get one where it's 1 of 17, 0 bosses. Oh no, how do I play this again?
Yeah, that was definitely panic mode. It's I said it in the IRC before. It's like the thing I do want to see is a super jet, and that's exactly what we had here.
Right. Yeah. All my practice seeds have been those, almost 100%ing the game. So seeing the crystal right is that just deer in headlights. Like, well, this is a new adjustment.
Yeah, so will we be seeing the 3 of you running again either tonight or tomorrow? Because you've still got 3 more chances to make this first final table here.
Oh, definitely tomorrow. I don't know if I can make the one tonight, but I'm doing both of them tomorrow.
They can't get rid of me that fast, so.
Yeah, I just came into this with the goal of not embarrassing myself, so I think I did okay.
I mean, I think we're going to have seen tons and tons of personal bests this run from all 45 of our racers. Probably quite a few people getting their sub-20s and their sub-25s for the first time.
Actually, this actually isn't even a personal best for me.
Oh, okay.
I actually have a 20-minute one. Because the first day I started practicing these, I had 2 crystal starts back-to-back. I'm like, okay.
Well, I want some of your luck then. I've had my last 3 of these have been 17, 16, and 16. I am clearly terrible at guessing correctly on these. Any final thoughts about this seed or going forward, the World Series of Free Enterprise from our 3 restreamees today?
Well, I love the entire concept of this whole World Series of Free Enterprise. It's just fun. I'm planning on playing on this event and at least the next 2. But yeah, these Appleseeds are great because they're just fun. You know, they require some thought, but they're not like as in depth and as difficult as other ones. You know, like the league qualifiers and whatnot. These are just fun. I like these seeds.
Yeah, it's especially in a seed like this where there's virtually no randomness involved. It really kind of shows how much technical skill can really separate people. So like, just huge shout outs to everyone who finished so early in this, because it really kind of is a demonstration of just, you know, the sort of technical and menuing mastery that they have going on and how much that can separate them. So
yeah, it's a much different change. Where, you know, if you're playing, I remember especially you, Venerable, when we were back in Zima Zone, and where you were, you know, you kind of had that kind of gnawing sense of dread when you hit that, you know, like 40 minutes an hour, where in, you know, this Appleseed, especially with that kind of start, it's like, you know, it's just that whole at the end, it's just it's your heart's in your throat the entire time, because there's just no time to think. It's just go.
Yeah, well, Baz, I'm sure we all know the seeds can only get longer from here. But an absolutely fantastic run from all three of you on the stream. You know, everybody sub 25. Just very, very high pace. It just shows that it's going to take a little bit more to make these final tables. It's going to take that little bit more of optimization, that little bit of a better break, and you know, we'll see how that'll pan out across the next 7 weeks.
yeah, the competition in this event particular is going to be brutal, and I really can't wait to see how everything pans out. This is going to be good.
Well, huge thanks again to all our featured racers. Make sure all of you in chat go and give them a follow. They're going to be racing this game a lot over the next 7 weeks as we go through all our flag sets for the World Series. If you don't mind, make sure you show your gratitude to the commentary team as well. Demarine, myself, our tracker Jory Sneff, who I think actually kind of had the easy job today, to be quite honest. And
easier than Night2 ever gets tracking, that's for sure.
And huge thanks to our restreamer Nirm. GG's all around. I think that we are about ready to wrap it up and send people over to our friends at RPG Limit Break. They're doing a Tales Marathon this weekend. But we'll see all you back here this evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the second Appleseed Qualifier. Am I forgetting anything, Demi?
No, I think you're good. Again, hop on the Discord, check out ff4fe.com. You know, keep cheering these runners on, keep on playing, keep on being excited about it, because we've got 7 weeks still to come.